Hello and welcome to Brick Speak. I'm your host, Brigadier Rakesh Bhatia. In the recently concluded DSSC entrance exam, 20 questions out of total 23 in the military history were dealt with in our podcast on Sino-Vietnam War 1979. The total duration of our podcast was approximately 13 hours. Today, we begin with the First Kashmir War, which is the campaign during upcoming DSSC entrance exam. The key takeaways from today's episode would be the key moments in history of Kashmir, the roads that were leading into Kashmir, because these roads had a prominent role to play in the campaign. Was the war waged by Pakistan for strategic reasons, or was it only religious? What was the grand design of Pakistan? Notwithstanding Pakistan's continuous denial of involvement, there are evidences to prove that Pakistan state had intervened. What was the role of Pakistani leaders and, more importantly, Pakistan army in instigating the raid by the tribals? And in the end, we will also touch upon what would have been the case if the invasion by the raiders had not taken place. Was there a possibility of Maharaja joining Pakistan? First of all, a look at the map. This was how the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir looked like in 1947. To the north was a vast area of Gilgit-Baltistan. To the east is Ladakh. In the middle is Kashmir. And in the south is Jammu. This is how it changed in 1948. To the west is the present-day Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. And to the north is the Gilgit-Baltistan, which is under illegal occupation of Pakistan. Let's have a look at a very short history of Kashmir. Kashmir was purchased by Raja Gulab Singh Dogra for 7.5 million in 1856 after the Sikh kingdom of Ranjit Singh had lost to the Britishers during the Second Anglo-Sikh War. The total area is approximately 85,783 square miles, with a Muslim population of 78%. At the time of independence, there were 11 provinces which were under direct rule of the British Empire and 565 small and bigger states. The states were given a choice to declare their independence, but they were expected to join either India or Pakistan. However, wishes of the people were to be taken into consideration. As far as Kashmir is concerned, Maharaja Hari Singh, who was the king, had signed a standstill agreement with Pakistan because his food items and other essential supplies used to come from Pakistan. Similar offer was given to India, but India did not respond. While the roads coming into Kashmir from Pakistan were tarmacked and had easy access, there was only a dirt road via Pathankot which was coming into Kashmir. Pakistan motivated few tribals and they invaded into Jammu and Kashmir, declaring a war. What were the strategic considerations of Pakistan? It is clear now that Pakistan had no religious reasons to enter into J&K, but there were strategic considerations. In his book, Raiders in Kashmir, Colonel Akbar Khan says, without Kashmir, Pakistan is vulnerable to Indian attack. If India placed its troops threatening Pakistan's security, between Lahore and Rawalpindi. He also talks about that agricultural economy of West Pakistan depends on rivers which originate from Kashmir. The exact words are, our own safety and welfare demand that the state of Kashmir should not go over to India. If Indian troops came to be stationed along Kashmir's western borders, India could establish its forces within a few miles of the 180 miles long vital road and rail route between Lahore and Rawalpindi. From an economic point of view, the position was equally clear. Our agricultural economy was dependent particularly upon the rivers coming out of Kashmir. Let's see this on a map. As you see, the important railway and road from Lahore to Rawalpindi passes very close to the borders of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. What you see in a solid purple line is the original border of Jammu and Kashmir, whereas the dotted purple line is the existing line of control. Pay attention to 5 rivers which flow into Pakistan from Kashmir. Beginning north, it is Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, and Satluj. As we are aware, the economy of West Pakistan's Punjab depended on water from these rivers. This was one of the major reasons why Pakistan wanted to annex Kashmir. Having seen the strategic importance of the region, let's now quickly see which are the roads that existed prior to 1947. In the north, there was a road originating from Wa, coming on to Abbottabad, through Muzaffarabad, along Jhelum River. It crosses Murree, comes to Baramulla, and terminates at Srinagar. Another road just south of it originates from Rawalpindi, comes to Muzaffarabad, and thereafter along Jhelum reaches Srinagar. In addition, there were also roads which went into Poonch and from Sialkot to Jammu. A very small stretch of railway line also existed between Sialkot and Jammu. There were 2 airstrips, one at Jammu and another at Srinagar. All these means of communications were important while understand and will help us to understand the 1947-48 India-Pakistan War better. What was the grand design? There was a Kashmir Liberation Committee which was led by Prime Minister of Pakistan, Liaquat Ali Khan. Colonel Akbar Khan, whom I have quoted, was the military member of this committee. The committee decided to launch a tribal aggression into Kashmir so as to force the Maharaja into joining Pakistan. The plan was to raise communal passions, assassinate important leaders, and capture power in Kashmir. There were some impressions which were formed in Pakistan because of few incidents of communal riots between Hindus and Muslims in the provinces of Jammu and Poonch. Pakistani leaders felt that the Muslims of state had risen against the government of India and they wanted to join Pakistan. Mr. Prem Shankar Jha, in his book Kashmir, Rival Version of History, writes, the instigation of violent activities and communal mayhem in Poonch and Jammu was a diversionary tactic designed to disperse and pin down the state forces and prevent them from regrouping at the mouth of Uri, which raiders had to pass before entering Kashmir Valley. Though Pakistan keeps denying that it had no involvement in the raid. However, there are enough evidences to prove Pakistan's assistance to the tribals. The leading Maliks of the tribes were interviewed in Rawalpindi on 2nd October and were tasked to organize Lashkars. At that time, there was a severe shortage of arms and ammunition, as most of them still lay in India. Colonel Akbar Khan, as Director of Weapon and Equipment, managed to locate 4,000 rifles, which were handed over to these tribals. Similarly, large stock of old ammunition was also discovered. Petrol is scarce commodity. Food and camp administrative services were organized and provisioned by Pak Army to the rider. Secret fund called Kashmir Fund was set aside by Nawab of Mahmud, who was the Chief Minister of West Punjab. The Chief Minister of Frontier Province, Abdul Gayoom Khan, gave 300 to 400 buses, without which the operation may not have been possible. Mr. Jinnah heard of the plan but said, "Don't tell me anything of it. My conscience must remain clear." Mr. V.P. Menon in his book writes, the raiders had free transit through Pakistan. They were in possession of modern military equipment which could only have been obtained from Pakistani army sources, that is, mortars, artillery, Mark V mines. These are not the kind of armament which tribesmen possess. A large number of army officers had joined the tribesmen and organized the attack on the state and the Indian army. The professionalism displayed could not be expected of any untrained personnel. A question arises, what if Pakistan was not in a hurry? It is worth pondering over the scenario in case the invasion by the raiders had not taken place. Possibility of Maharaja joining Pakistan existed. Indian Home Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel had left the choice to the Maharaja. Lord Mountbatten too advised the Maharaja to join one of the two dominions, as two bigger nations in its neighborhood would not let him remain independent. Mr. Menon again states, we had no territorial ambitions in Kashmir. If the invasion had not happened, I can say in the face of any contradiction that the government of India would have left Kashmir alone. Lord Mountbatten, on his return to England, publicly stated that he had, on the authority of Government of India, informed the Maharaja that he was perfectly free to accede to Pakistan if he chooses to do so. In conclusion, I would say Pakistan was in a hurry to grab Kashmir. Its leader got impatient and apprehensive that the Maharaja may not be inclined to join them. In order to present a fait accompli to Maharaja, Pakistan unleashed unruly, undisciplined tribesmen on innocent Kashmiris who had never heard or seen such savagery. Lord Cunningham, the governor of Northwest Frontier Provinces, noted, because of the excesses of the tribesmen, many Muslims of Kashmir would have adhered to India and not to Pakistan if a plebiscite had been held. Essential question which we will address next would be, Pakistan accepted accession of Junagadh, where the head of the state was a Muslim, but it was predominantly a Hindu state. And Kashmir, king was a Hindu, but overall majority was of Muslim. Did India firm up its resolve post Junagadh? This will be the question which we'll address in our next episode. All the best. Keep working hard. Please like, share, and subscribe